All right, so this is the video on multiplying mixed numbers for the 5th grade group. So on the website, under K through 5 math, the tab at the top, if you go to the 5th grade, scroll down to where it says 5th grade worksheet alternative, and then 5th grade activity. The activity in there is a Nearpod activity, so they can do that one on their own time as well. This video is just to help with doing the worksheet. This one, and then the last video for turning mixed numbers into improper fractions, that's to help with the worksheet alternative, and also to prepare them better to do this worksheet after watching this video as well. So you should watch that video first if you need help with turning the mixed number into an improper fraction, because I'm not going to do that step as much in this one. I'll explain it, but not in as much detail as that one will be. This one is going to help you with a 5th grade worksheet online. There is some work here at the school, but everything's online as well. They're a little bit different at the school just in case you want more practice, but it will be online. So I'm going to explain how to do number 1 on the worksheet, and probably move into a little bit of number 2 just so that you feel comfortable with this. Some of this stuff should be review. Graphic organizer is at the school in the sheet protector for you guys. So if you come to the school, you have a graphic organizer as well as a multiplication chart inside a sheet protector. Only thing that there will not be are expo markers, so that might be a little bit more difficult. So your option is to print off the graphic organizers on the webpage, or you can, you don't need to use it. You can just kind of follow it as you have in class, but it's there for you as an option. You could potentially just write with a pencil and erase it. It's just going to be a lot of erasing. So, okay, so I'm going to explain it. This is the graphic organizer in a big form behind me, just because mine will be a little bit too small to do on the camera. Okay, so number 1 on the webpage, it will pop up on its own different thing like this. So the worksheets, remember, you do not need to turn in any other worksheets. This is just for practice. You'll still get your regular tests that you would in class. So that will help me identify who still needs help in these areas. So make sure you still do that on your own. You do not get help for your testing, so that I know what to help you with later. Okay, so number 1, I'm going to erase this because it's from the last video. Okay, number 1 is, let's see, 2 1/3. So I have a whole number of 2, and I'm just putting it off here because your graphic organizer does not have the whole number square here. So I put my whole number off to the side, my numerator here, my denominator here, and it's timesing, so it's multiplying 3, and I'm just going to squeeze a 3 in here, 1/2. The reason I'm not going to erase this is because you don't have that option on your graphic organizer. If you're just writing this on a worksheet or some sort of page, you are more than welcome to do that, but for this instance, you will not have it on, you won't be able to erase certain things on the graphic organizer. So first step from the last video, you will do your first step of turning a mixed number into an improper fraction in order to do the next step. So I'm going to multiply the bottom, the denominator by the whole number. So I'm going to do 2 times 3, 2 times 3. And I can use my multiplication chart. I can check that, whatever you want to do. I'll give you a second to find that. You can pause the video also. Okay, all right, so now I do 2 times 3, and 2 times 3 is 6. Okay, now I have to add the top. So now I have 2 times 3, which was 6. Now I have to do 6 plus 1. So this whole thing was 6. Now I add it to 1. 6 plus 1. 6 plus 1 is, I hope you said 7. All right, 7. So that means my numerator, everything else gets erased because you don't need it anymore. This becomes a 7, and my denominator stays the same. So all this stuff is done with. So I have my first improper fraction that is done with for right now. Now I'm going to go over to my next piece. My next piece will have the same thing. I'm going to do the exact same thing I did here, right here. So I'm going to do 3 times 2. I'm going to put my multiplication symbol, and then I will add the top after. So 3 times 2, same thing, which will be 6. Okay, and then I do 6 plus 1. 6 plus 1 is 7. So now all this stuff gets erased again. I'm going to erase it with my finger because I don't want to get rid of everything. And so that number that you got from doing this whole thing becomes your new numerator, and your denominator once again will stay the same. Okay, now I can treat this like a normal multiplication problem, which you guys have been doing quite a bit in here, so we should feel a little more comfortable with this as we go along. So now I just go across like I normally would. So now I'm going to do 7 times 7. So like this multiplication symbol is going to apply to both of these. I just do it straight across. So 7 times 7. You can look at your multiplication chart, look at it. If you already know your math facts, that's fantastic. 7 times 7 is 49. I go here. Okay. Now I do the same thing across here. I have that multiplication symbol, so I'm just going to multiply across. 3 times 2 is 6. Okay, I am ending with an improper fraction. Remember, an improper fraction means that the number, the numerator on the top, is bigger than the denominator. I should not end my problem with that. I should make sure that I turn this improper fraction into a mixed number, which, if I look on my graphic organizer, it already states here, turning improper fractions into mixed numbers. This, however, is an improper fraction, again, because the numerator is greater than the denominator. 49 is a bigger number than 6, so we don't want that to look like that's not a normal fraction for us. So we're going to take the numerator on the top, always goes inside the division symbol in here. So the numerator will always go in here. So I put 49 in here. Okay. And my denominator is always going to be on the outside because my denominator will not change with my answer. My denominator is going to stay the same here. So my 6 goes here. Okay. And now I have to see, can 6 go into 4? No, it can't. So I'm going to put a 0 here. Okay. Now let's think about this. Can 6 go into 49? And if so, how many times without going over? So one option, if you do have your multiplication chart, you can take your multiplication chart and find the 6 at the top, very top row. I find a 6. I go down until I get as close to 49 without going over. So I keep going. Oh, 54 is too high, so I'm going to do 48. And I go over and see what row that is, 8. So 6 times 8 gives me 48. So I do 6. I'm going to put a little time symbol here so I remember that going up here I have to multiply. So 6 times 8, which was 48. So I put a 48 here. Okay. Now I'm just going to subtract because I have a subtraction symbol here as well in your graphic organizer. You'll see that. 9 minus 8 is 1. 4 minus 4 is 0. Okay, so now I have everything I need. All my boxes are filled out. I am not using this one because I don't need it right now. Okay, if I were to simplify or reduce, if this was a proper fraction, or if this ends up being a proper fraction that I can reduce, then we will use that, but we'll see how it goes. So I'm going to see how many whole times it went in. 8 is the whole amount of times that 6 went into it. So I'm going to put an 8 here. 6 went into 49. Okay, and then my denominator will stay the same. So my denominator was 6 here, 6 here. This number is going to go here. And my numerator, whatever is left over, is going to go on the top. So this is left over of this whole fraction here. So I have 8 and 1/6. I am not going to simplify or reduce because 1 is a prime number, and it's already as small as it can possibly be as far as this goes. So my answer here is 8 and 1/6. So a lot of steps. I'll do one more with you so you can see all those steps again with a different problem. This is where it would be good if you had an expo marker at home to use your graphic organizer, but if not, just do it on a piece of paper. Just make sure you separate everything as much as you possibly can so your numbers don't start mixing. And that should be good. Okay, so let's look at, hopefully that will load. Okay, so your next problem on your graphic or on the worksheet online, and you can apply this if you grab the one from the school too. It's just going to be a little bit different because I try to give different practice. So this one is 4 and 2/3. And then they're multiplying that by 2 and 1/5. So I have 4 as my whole number, 2 is my numerator, 3 is my denominator, and I'm multiplying that by 2 as my whole number, 1 is my numerator, and 5 is my denominator. Okay, so first step, same thing I did before, and the same thing you did on those other practice videos. So you multiply your whole number by your denominator, and then you will add the whole number and the denominator, whatever you got here, add that with your numerator there. So 4 times 3, I'll give you a second to figure that piece out. Use your things that you need. Okay, that is 12. And then I need to add the top. So I take this number that I got here, plus my numerator, which is 2. So 12 plus 2 is 14. Okay, so now I have that, so I erase my whole number and my numerator. My denominator will stay the same, so I will not touch that. That numerator will be replaced with this new number, which is 14. Okay, I'm done with that, so I will erase all that. Okay, so now I have my improper fraction ready to go here. Now let's do this one, turn this mixed number into an improper fraction. I'm gonna multiply the bottom and add the top. So 2 times 5 is 10. Okay, and then 10, what I got here, and I gotta add the top, so 10 plus 1 gives me 11. So now I will get rid of this numerator, the whole number, and replace it with this new number, which is 11. And this is all done with, I don't need it. Okay, now I'm gonna multiply across because this is just something that I'm able to do because I've turned these both into improper fractions. So 14 times 11. You also have another graphic organizer in your thing that is separated to do multiply 2 numbers by 1, or 2 numbers by 2 numbers. That is an option for you. I will show you how to quickly do it on this side so you can see it. If you want to use that graphic organizer, you are more than welcome to. It's just set up in boxes like everything else with the adding symbols at the top. So I start here, I do 4 times 1, 4, 4 times 1 again, 1 times 1, sorry. So I did 1 times 4, which gave me 4, and then 1 times 1, because I multiply this number by every number on the top. Once I'm done with it, I get rid of that number. Okay, now I take this number and multiply this number by every single number on the top. So I go 1 times 4, which will be 4, and I'm gonna go off of this row, so this column, so I will put it here, okay? Since I'm not using this side, I'm just gonna put an X to stop myself from accidentally putting something there because I don't want to, because there's no number here anymore, so it shouldn't go in this column. It's all starting on this column. So I've done 1 times 4, so I'm done with this 4, there's nothing else to multiply it by. Now I'll do 1 times 1, I'm gonna put it here off on this side, so I'm just gonna keep going over. Now I can add. 4 plus nothing is 4, 4 plus 1 is 5, and 1 plus nothing is 1. My numerator is 154. Okay, now I gotta do the bottom one, so I'm done with this. So this number became that number. Okay, now I do 3 times 5, 3 times 5, oops, multiply across, 3 times 5 is, okay, it is 15. So I will take that, put here. Now this is an improper fraction. The number on the top is bigger than the number on the bottom. So my numerator is bigger than the denominator. So I need to go to this piece that says turning improper fractions into mixed numbers. I take my numerator because it always goes inside. This situation you do not have an extra box for to fit all those numbers in, so I'm just gonna put my extra number off on the side. So don't forget it if you are using the graphic organizer. So I'm gonna do 154, and I'm gonna multiply that by 15. So I'm gonna do it like this. Okay, all right, so, divide it by, I think I said multiply. So you do 154 divided by 15, because it's down here in this section, okay? All right, so now I see, can 15 go into 1? No, it can't. Can 15 go into 15? Right here. Yes, it can. How many times without going over? Well, 15 is 15, so I say 1 time. I put that whole 15 down here. I subtract it, I get 0, 0. But I still have a 4 up there, so I shouldn't leave my 4 hanging. I'm gonna pull that 4 down. Okay. And since I pulled it down, can 15 go on to 4? No, I can't, so I put a 0 here. So that's about as far as I can go because it can't go in there. So my whole amount of times it went in there will be my whole number. So my whole amount of times is 10 because the number in front of that does not matter. And my denominator will stay the same. So it's going to be 15. And my numerator is whatever is left over, which is 4, will go here. Okay, I cannot reduce or simplify that because the only thing that would work is 1 because that's the only common number or common factor they will have. So your answer will be 10 and 4/15. Okay, I will do one more video for simplifying and reducing in case you have any questions on that, but go ahead and work on the rest of that worksheet as practice, and then you'll have your test at the end of the week that will have whatever one you choose to do. It's your choice, but make sure that you get one of those to complete on your own. Okay, if you have any questions, feel free to email me. All right, good luck, you guys.